This is an introduction to interjurisdictional practice. How do you establish where the client is at the time of contact? You can ask your client to attest to their location. You can do that at the beginning of every session. Oh, Joe, hey, nice to see you. You just, for the record here, just tell me where you are. That's very important. You can now bill because you know the person was in your state. If you're practicing over state lines illegally, you really should not be billing. That claim assumes that you're practicing legally. If you're not, you're billing fraudulently. Not a good thing. Then you want to document this exchange. How do you document all this? Very easy. You make a form of checkboxes. Date, sign. Pretty easy. If they're not in the proper state, don't just say, sorry, Joe, can't talk to you. None of us would really do that anyway, right? We find out if there's an emergency going on. Hey, Joe, remember we talked about the fact that I have to be licensed where you are, and I understand you're in Oklahoma with your mom because she had a heart attack, but you know I can't work with you. But before we stop for today, can you tell me, are you having some type of crisis? So if they are in crisis, you document that, and then you start with a crisis protocol. It's not your Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock meeting. Secure them. Are they alone? Are they feeling suicidal? Are they feeling homicidal? You check, you run down that list, and then see if they can be alone for the night. Can somebody come stay with them? Check in with you tomorrow. You know, these kinds of things that we normally do for crisis. And that's it. And then you stop the session. And then in your informed consent is where you lay all this out and you let them know ahead of time. That's why some of these informed consent documents may seem rather laborious to get through, but it's important to establish the rules before you get started. Now, if you want more information about which state is doing what, there are some resources available to you. You can actually go find out. There's a State Policy Resource Center at the American Telemedicine Association, and it allows you to have legislative updates, and you can check it by state, by discipline. Keep your eyes open, because the boards are in flux right now. What we talk about today is true today, but it may not be true 6 months from now, because they're talking to each other and they're kind of getting ramped up to deal with a lot of this. And in a lot of cases, they don't agree with one another. So you might be licensed in one state, but then want to go practice in another state, but that board is in disagreement with your state. They can be diametrically opposed on some issues, by the way. Always talk to the state involved.